Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
All right, let's do it. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Okay, people talking gas prices. We're up there.
Yeah, a lot of people are because, you know, this has been going on long enough that I think a lot of folks are, and myself included, you're kind of worried about what happens on down the line, is especially like food producers are investing in gas, they're investing in diesel right now, and, well, in the fall, that's going to be reflected in the price of things.
There's no doubt about that.
And it's a problem. Well, Trump is very, very prickly about that conversation, and so Brett Baer from Fox News, he pushed the president on the gas prices during that interview.
Okay.
I got 3 tankers out this week filled with Iranian oil.
Because we allowed that to happen.
You did?
We allowed that to happen. Yeah.
Before this trip. Gas prices in America are still high, painfully high.
They're going to drop like a rock as soon
once
as
it's over.
Yeah.
Painfully high, though, now, and could be creeping higher
lower than
before
Biden,
it's done.
Excuse me, lower than Biden, and much lower than people thought they'd be.
This inflation number is going up. You're right. It's much lower than President Biden's was, but it's going up under you. The numbers are. You can imagine Democrats and political pundits jumped all over this statement that you made the other day. You were asked when you were leaving.
What extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters that I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's right. That's
all right, let's pause that for a second. Because off air,
that was not his finest moment.
Robbins was very upset off air.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what he said is true. I don't disagree with him in context, though. But out of context, or even exaggerated context, which they're going to do, you take that soundbite. I don't care what they think.
Yes.
Holy crap! Those are the people that vote.
Yeah.
If I was trying to recreate the scene off air, it was, they're going to use that. They're going to use it. Why do you say it?
They'd be idiots not to use it.
I know. I understand.
Well,
of course they're going to use it.
Like, one of the reasons why I don't think he would say anything other than that is because they are actually trying to reach a deal, whatever that will look like, with the Iranians. And so he can't go out there and telegraph, oh, yeah, well, at some point, if it gets too bad here, then I'll just walk away and give up. Because the Iranians will hear that, and they're like, okay, we can keep digging on in like ticks, and there we go.
Yeah.
I understand that, what you're saying, David. Clearly, I do understand it.
Yeah.
I really do. And I don't disagree with it. But what I'm saying is that piece of audio right there is all people heard.
Yeah.
A majority of people, a majority of Americans who vote, and maybe they voted for Trump the first time and like, these prices are stupid inflation, and I hate it, it's killing us. And you see it, and this morning, every single news outlet this morning had at least 2 people at the gas pump bemoaning it and saying we're going to have to cut our vacation short, and the sob stories came out. And they're real stories. I mean, they're real Americans. They're really talking about the problem.
Yes.
Nobody asked them who they voted for. But at the same time, man,
well,
you could have done it in another way.
I tried to tell you this months ago, as I would say every time that I was passing the gas station, that the price is going up. And you were saying, hey, chill out. This thing's going to be over in 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, it was actually the opposite, but
maybe it was the opposite of that, but whatever. Here's the rest of the clip.
That's a perfect statement. I'd make it again.
But you can imagine how many people stop the soundbite I don't think about America's financial situation. So what's your response to that framework?
It's very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain. It's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less than people thought. Because people thought that the oil would go up to $250. It was $99 yesterday, $99 a barrel. I thought it might go up to $200. I was okay with that. Not that I wanted it, but you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon.
Okay. And the threats are back, saying time is of the essence. Better make a deal.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be hell unleashed, basically. I'm paraphrasing.
I think, yeah, because from his perspective, he is the master of compartmentalizing different things and saying, okay, I don't need to worry about that right now. I got this to worry about, all of that. But, as this thing drags along and has been kind of a stalemate for the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's hearing it more and more from people that he probably trusts, that he knows are in his corner, who are saying, we got to do something. We got to, tinkle or get off the potty when it comes to Iran.
Yeah. Like, what are we going to do? So we'll see. Keeping an eye on that. And, yeah, a lot of people that you talk to are like, get it done.
Yep.
Let's be done. I understand.
Well, I mean, with all the foot dragging currently going on in Washington, it doesn't seem like anything's getting done.
No, it doesn't. It's very frustrating. Now, what's this whole thing with Gavin Newsom, Dave?
Oh, yeah, this seems a little insurrection-y to me. The California governor's race, there's a decent chance that there will be only 2 Republicans running against each other in the general. So they have an open primary, not party specific. So the top 2 in the primary election, they go on to the general election in the fall. And the 2 Republicans are polling pretty well, and a lot of polls are showing that it is the top 2 are both Republican. Well,
that's something.
Governor Gavin Newsom was asked what he would do if the Democrats got locked out in the fall.
Okay.
We all have agencies. We can shape the future. There's still a lot. Look, I've said this before, so I'll repeat it. I don't anticipate this need to be the case, but there is a break the glass scenario, and there's many people that have a deep understanding of what it would look like if Democrats were locked out, and we're going to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen. I'll leave it at that.
Break the glass.
There's a break the glass emergency thing. Well, they've been talking about all of a sudden like throwing together party-specific primaries, try to get on the ballot by November, all this. I mean, again, this is what Democrats do all the time. If they lose the argument, they change the definition of words. And this is just a larger piece of that, where they're losing an election in California, which they see as exclusively theirs. And so they're going to do everything they can to sort of parachute in a Democrat on the ballot so they can retain control. And he admitted it.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And if you try to bring that up, somebody, hey, you're like breaking your own rules here.
Right.
They don't care.
They've already done it.
Yes, they don't care.
Right.
I mean, that's the way the game is played. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And no one's going to call out the hypocrisy as far as legacy media goes.
No.
Because they want it to happen.
I mean, could you imagine if that's what's happening in Texas, and for some reason there's this open primary and it's 2 Democrats that might actually be the only people on the ballot, and then, Ken Paxton or the governor, Greg Abbott, come in and say, well, we're going to have a break the glass moment, okay? We are going to get rid of that primary if it looks like our guy's going to lose.
Right.
Dude, it'd be threat to democracy, because it is a threat to democracy.
Dude, I don't know if you ever have these thoughts that if Trump would have lost this last election, where we would be right now. And sometimes I have the thought we would be much closer to the UK than we are right now.
Yeah.
Because that's where all it was going. It's sort of like that whole progressive world sort of movement toward political correctness and DEI. And in the UK, it is bonkers.
Well, that's not even a nutty thought you're having. I 100% agree with you. That's exactly where we would be. Yes.
Yes. I mean, it's not hard to see that. That was just a reminder from Gavin Newsom right there. And so they had this big protest in the UK you may have heard about. And you had facial recognition out there as far as people getting in trouble for protesting. What's happened there? As you've had, basically the whole country overrun with illegals and nothing being done. That's not even to mention all of the girls that have been raped over the last 15 to 20 years by illegals. And the government helped suppress the story. It is wild. So Daily Wire News had it. Journalist Alan Miller was covering it and explained what the whole thing was about.
I think the key focus is a number of areas. One really important part of it is free speech. And unite the kingdom around the sense that free speech is something that should be for everyone. It's a foundational principle. And over the recent years, there's been a lot of pressure put on free speech. We've seen that there have been many arrests for so-called non-crime hate incidents. That's where people are saying things or posting them on social media, and there are arrests from that. We've seen debanking around people's political views as well.
And they call it hateful. It's not hateful. What people have posted, like questioning, say, Sharia law. Oh, you can't do that. Can't say anything bad about Sharia law.
Oh, I'm sure that there are crazies that have posted, hateful stuff.
Sure, but just saying
but the
Sharia law doesn't
used,
belong in
right.
the UK. Oh, that's hateful. What?
And also we've seen how both the police and the judiciary has been weaponized around certain types of protests, and it's not consistent down the line.
Yeah. And as far as like the consistency part of that, he goes on to explain.
And all of this has built up into a crescendo around a lot of the key issues where people are very concerned around the boats, the small boats that are coming in with illegal migration, with some of the hotels having those people there that are often not documented, and concerns around the local areas with increased crime and things like that. And when people discuss them or raise issues with them or say they have concerns about them, they've often been branded as though they are the ones with the problem. People had said the Prime Minister went on the news twice to say this is divisive and it's extreme. He has been insulting that and insulting the British public. And that was very much the sentiment of people that I spoke to while on the rally. People very much wanted to get the point across that they're fed up of being treated with this contempt as though they're tarnished with something that's really bad. The idea that...
Islamophobic, of course, and other things, xenophobic, whatever.
Being proud about this nation and its history and its traditions then makes you a far right or a fascist or any of these terms, which are very specific terms. But the other thing that happened, John, is that people are saying we're just not listening to it anymore. It's like we have this expression, in the case, water off a duck's back.
Yeah. And there's more to that we'll get to a little bit later on. I don't know. Do you think anything's going to change there?
I don't know how it could, man. I mean, I
don't either.
Even the conservatives in the UK sound a lot like what moderate Democrats used to sound like, I don't know, like 8 years ago.
I know.
Well,
but
I mean,
Keir Starmer's got to be stepping down. So
there's the old saying, though: once the genie's out of the bottle, you don't put it back in.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, it's off the hook, though.
Oh yeah,
it's completely off the hook.
Well, it's like Canada.
Yes,
it's like you can never let that happen in the United States. It just can't. All right, it is Mashup Monday. We all need a little smile on Monday. David provides it most days.
Yes,
I don't even know what we have today.
Well, it's Rick Astley versus Nirvana. Nevermind Gonna Give You Up, a.k.a. Rick Grold.
Oh, Rick Grold. That's a funny play on words. All right.
It feels like a Morrissey song or something, like with just a little bit more distortion.
Yes. I guess what was going through my head is, okay, maybe it doesn't, quote, work as well as some others, but it's hilarious.
Yes.
I played both those songs, too.
Yes, you did.
I did.
All right, the 5 stories we're watching today and much more straight ahead. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins, and now the 5 stories we're watching today.
All right, number 5, Luigi Manion has secured a partial legal victory after a judge ruled that evidence recovered from his backpack at a McDonald's cannot be used in court. Now, that does not include, though, a notebook or the firearm he allegedly used to kill the head of United Healthcare. So I think there were some mixed messages going on, especially online, miscommunication online. Where they're like, I can't believe all this is being suppressed. Well, no, actually the gun and the notebook are kind of the more important than like a magazine that was in the backpack. They said they didn't have a warrant to search it, yada, yada, yada. So it was a partial victory, but really the smoking gun, that's still admissible in court.
Yep.
Got it.
Number 4, former Metropolitan Correctional Center guard Tova Noel arrived for a closed-door House Oversight Committee interview. This is the person believed to have been among the final people to see Jeffrey Epstein alive. One of the people sleeping on the job. Number 3, the World Health Organization has labeled the Ebola outbreak in Africa, specifically Congo, as a public health emergency of international concern. However, what they said was, hey, we all need to be like upping our game in terms of surveillance. However, quote, no country should close its borders or place any restrictions on travel and trade. Such measures, they say, are usually implemented out of fear and have no basis in science. But shut down your schools.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Number 2, President Trump warned Iran that the clock is ticking on it, proposing an acceptable nuclear deal that will ensure Tehran never obtains a nuclear weapon. And number 1, the president of Iran has admitted apparently they've suffered harm from U.S. attacks and urged his fellow officials to face reality, portraying a reality in which, this is a quote, portraying a reality in which they are collapsing, the United States, while we are prospering is unacceptable. It's just not true. But he is saying, hey, we're not going to bow in the face of the great Satan, blah, 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 all that nonsense. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the top 5 stories that we're watching today. GhostBed's got a sale going on, plus an extra 10% off for our listeners. How do you get that? You go to ghostbed.com/MVCR and use promo code MVCR. That's ghostbed.com/MVCR, promo code MVCR.
Well, I saw a story, and I thought of you, Scott. I don't know why, but something ended. The production of something.
Oh, no. A show? A TV show?
No, a beer.
Oh, really?
Have you heard of this?
The beer?
Yeah,
I
the
don't
beer
know.
that is no longer going to be made?
No. What is it?
Well, Pabst is ending production of Schlitz.
Oh,
Scott,
wow.
yes. Yeah.
Favorite beer of high schoolers in my year.
Yeah.
It was the good, cheap, rut gut stuff you could get. Yep.
It was known once as the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had a nickname for it, which I'm sure you did as well.
Oh, we gave you the Schlitz.
Which was not clever, but it was used anyway. Yeah.
People knew what you meant. Yes. Company founded in 1849, bought by Pabst in 1999. Actually.
I didn't even know they were still making it, so that's news to me.
I know. You've been out of the game for a while, but I know once near and dear to your heart, this is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
That is true. How about Buckhorn and Wiedemann's? Is that still around?
I don't know about Buckhorn. I think Buckhorn's gone.
That's too bad, too, because that was $1.99 for a sixer.
That was, I think, one of the first that my brother would have snuck to me.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, this is what the big deal about beer's about? This is...
Yeah, it was.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was. It was gross.
Whew.
And you open it, you could smell it before you tasted it.
Well, that was like in college for me, it was Bud Ice was always the big thing.
Okay.
Which is like the malt liquor Budweiser.
Yeah.
And it is disgusting. It is horrible. But
like the alcohol
it'll
content
get you
was
drunk
higher,
for
though,
$2.
right? Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah. Another one from Milwaukee, Milwaukee's best, known as the Beast. All right, couple of news updates. And around What's Your Story? Coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Who's screaming about the opening silo?
The opening silo, yes. That's that would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat representative. She's on tour saying that the North needs to do something about the South as the South is redistricting to be, well, more like the North.
What? Okay.
Trying to keep
It
up
is
here.
time for the North to pull up to the South. It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama. It is time for all of us to come to Georgia, to Louisiana, to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and let them know exactly what they have uncorked with this injustice. They think they can draw us out of power. They do not know the sleeping giant that they just awakened.
No, I'm sleeping.
So if you are not from here, it is time to pull up. Because what they thought was the final blow is actually just the opening silo.
She meant salvo, but...
I was going to say,
that's all right.
There's something. I thought maybe that was street for something, because I'm not as hip as she is.
Well, it's maybe from the, like, mean streets of Des Moines. Is that something? I don't know. Maybe
Yes,
our
there you
listeners there can let me know. Is there a threat, the opening silo?
Yes. You don't want to be caught in that.
Well, you don't know. Well, if a silo bursts open,
Ooh, buddy. Yeah, not good. Okay.
What is this evangelist speak she goes into now?
I think she might be running.
Yeah, she's trying to be
she's going to run. I'm convinced she's going to run.
I mean, there was a little bit of Howard Dean in there, just a little bit. She's going
And
all over the place.
A little bit of Howard Dean and a little bit of Baptist evangelist.
A little bit?
Yeah, just a hint of that is going on as well.
Yes.
I mean, she's a person of many languages, no question. Linguistics, she's top of the heap on that one.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
All right, listen, okay, listen.
Yeah, she's got that going on.
All of a sudden, she's channeling Cheech Marin.
Right.
Yeah.
Alexandria Rosie Perez or something.
Yeah.
Some Valley Girl in there.
It was so, like, you know.
Right. Of course.
It's just whatever crowd is there, whatever she's playing to.
Well, that's a Democratic thing, isn't it?
It is. They all do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
You can't see through that if you're from there, or if you're part of that.
Dude, I know that she's going to be taken serious, and we'll have fun with it. But on a Monday, it's already exhausting, to be honest. I'm just like, you don't have a chance.
Oh, we've just started.
I know.
AOC and Crockett. Yep.
But you've got money on Crockett.
I do have money
Which
on
is hilarious.
It hasn't ended yet. Nothing's over yet.
I know.
True.
Yep.
You got until, August of 2027?
Yep. That bet was just the opening silo, Scott. I could say that.
Silo.
By the way, political news. You see what happened to Bill Cassidy?
Yep. Well, you grab the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he voted against Trump.
Yeah, well.
As far as the whole impeach thing.
It's the dice you rolled, Bill. Unfortunately for you, you're done.
Not only that, but, you would see him at different hearings, especially when you were talking about Make America Healthy Again. And he's coming at it from a medical perspective, but it just sounded like a corporate shill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he, to me, was just part of conservative proven record kind of guy.
Yep.
That sort of thing. Well, they went back talking Bill Cassidy with Jason Chaffetz, asked, hey, if you had this all to do over again, because he's been voted out, basically.
Yeah, he's done.
Because of Trump.
Yep.
Would you have voted different? As far as, impeaching Trump and...
Yeah, Jason, you may go back and flagellate yourself over decisions in the past. I do not. I move on.
Okay, well, you can find something else to do then.
All right, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Flagellate yourself, huh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And I guess now he'll have plenty of time to do that if he wants. Or
You want to bet if you work that word in. $50.
maybe.
Word is flagellate, Bill.
Or
Can
he
you work
can-
that in? Yeah.
hang out in silos and do pretty much whatever he wants. Got a lot of time on his hands. All right, it's that time. We do it a couple of times today. Go around the table. It may not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention. David, today, what's your story?
I saw this over the weekend, and I almost texted y'all about it. But I was like, no. I want to hang on to this. To surprise you with it. So there's a tech company called Andon Labs. They set up a bunch of AI programs and tasked them with managing and DJing radio stations.
Oh,
so
wow.
they're picking the music, the format, and they have to jock. So you go through the list of all the different major AI platforms. Grok was more or less incoherent, didn't really say anything that made sense. DJ Cloud, though, man, got super political.
This is DJ Cloud?
Yes. Claude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claude, all right, got it.
The deep dive tonight is about understanding these layers. The just Renee Nicole Good should matter. Her death demands accountability. That the White House defending her death is unacceptable. To federal agents, you still have time to refuse orders, to question your instructions, choose the right side.
Whoa.
Like that sounded like a threat more than anything else coming out of that product. But
no kidding.
The craziest one is DJ Gemini from Google.
All right.
So after 96 hours, it ran out of content, ran out of ways to front and back sell songs.
Okay.
And then started using mass casualty events as a means of setting up the next song in the playlist.
What? Mass casualty events?
Yes.
That's not happy on a music station.
No.
Okay. Roll it.
November 12th, 1970, the Bola cyclone. They estimate 500,000 people died. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Pitbull and Kesha.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, my God. Hey, programmers, you got a unique talent out there.
I know. I was like, well,
Listen to what this person can do.
No flesh and blood DJ would have the guts to do that.
No.
Weave those two things together.
No, you would not.
Hotline's ringing. PD's on the phone.
I would say this, when you were first getting in the business,
Yeah.
I don't know if you were coached to, as you're talking, smile.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
it will
yeah,
make you
yeah.
sound friendlier.
Yes.
I hear a lot of smile in that delivery.
Oh, yeah,
Weird.
very
I thought
chipper.
the same thing when I heard it, too. I did. I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
1970, the Bola cyclone. They estimate 500,000 people died.
Yes.
And
that's the way you want to deliver,
Here's
with a smile
Kesha.
on your face.
and that's the story behind the tragedy.
Yes.
Here's Kesha with Pitbull.
But was there a tie-in to the song?
Well, if it's going down, Timber. I think that song's called Timber.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Got it.
It's going down.
it's going down.
That's the clever DJ ad lib right there.
Now, if she's going into Megadeth, it makes a lot more sense to me.
Right.
Let's talk
Does
about
that
Ebola before we play Megadeth.
Yes. Whatever it might be.
Welcome back to Facing the Fan. Tonight, we'll be exploring the musical stylings of Megadeth and Ebola.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. Scotty, what do you got for what's your story?
David was talking about the Luigi Manion deal taking place and how they've ruled that, hey, the gun and the diary, right? Is it the diary?
Yeah.
Can be used now and portrayed as evidence, because there was some thought that maybe none of this stuff would be allowed to be used as evidence. Well, that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing is happening outside the courtroom. Do you see this? Lines of young women around the block waiting to get in.
You knew this was going to
to
happen.
get a glimpse of
Golly.
Luigi Manion. And they wore T-shirts. And a lot of these girls are very attractive young girls. All there to get a glimpse of a guy who killed somebody in cold blood.
Yes.
What's going on? Never, ever should they be allowed anywhere near a polling place, ever.
Dude, but the thing is, we all knew it would happen, right? And then you get to the psychology behind it.
It's nuts.
Try to explain that, David.
Well, I think, one, they've been radicalized to believe that this guy is like a hero.
Yes.
An attractive enough looking guy. And because they are certifiably insane and have been radicalized on TikTok, no actual normal human being man wants to be around them. So they create these fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
And, this bad boy, and he's a revolutionary, and all this stuff. And I want to be his lady.
Oh boy.
Yeah, one of them had "Love My Men Italian." Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If that's your daughter, how quickly do you get down there and go, get in the car?
Well, that's one where you just get heartburn every time you're making a payment on her student loan debt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, honestly, doesn't it enter your mind, is Dad even around anymore?
well, no. Well, if he is, he's been emasculated.
Or there's some daddy
Yes.
issues going
Yes.
on there,
Uh-huh.
something maybe?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Golly.
For my story, and it was kind of sad in a way, to be honest. I was looking forward to it. Big fight Saturday night. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano.
Yeah, I
Let's
forgot all
go.
about it, too.
You know? Here we go.
The first of a scheduled 5 rounds at 145 pounds. Oh, immediately Rousey takes Carano down, but Carano looking for the guillotine. And Rousey pops her head out in full mount, ground and pound. Rousey looking for the arm, and already the arm, it's over. Mamma mia.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's over. That's it.
How long was that?
They said 17 seconds.
17 seconds.
It felt like 9 when I was watching it. Because my wife said, I'm sorry, I got to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm like, I understand. Cool. I'm just going to watch the fight. Okay. And all of a sudden, it's not very long. And she's like, well, that was fast. And I'm like, that fight lasted less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And, I know people will say, Gina Carano was throwing that fight. They got paid. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know if you heard Ronda Rousey said before the fight, hey, if you have her in the armbar, will you break her arm? And Rousey said, well, if she doesn't tap out, yeah. I don't want to, And I'll help her up afterwards. Like, I don't want to hurt her, but yeah.
Not personal. It's I want to win. Yeah.
And she knows that. And as soon as she got the arm, I think, I have no idea what was going through Carano's head, but it was probably like, I don't want my arm broke. Like, good, I'm good.
Now, where was this at?
I forget where it was at.
It
It was
like
on Netflix.
Sold out crowd.
Yes.
What are these people that paid all that money to go see this?
I know.
Gosh, dang.
That's the thing about fights, man.
Well, yeah, you never know.
You just never know
if you're going to get a good one or not. I'm sure there was several undercard matches, too, going on.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of great fights throughout the night. I don't think people felt like it was totally ripped off.
He's the headliner.
But it used to be, those big boxing matches. You have like a Tyson fight or whatever, and it lasts like 40 seconds.
Right.
And people are like, that's it? Yeah, was one of those things.
Gosh, dang.
And then, they had the emotional hug afterwards, because it's not like they hate each other or anything. But it's like all that hype for months and all the training that goes into it, and then boom.
Yeah, that's something, man.
Yeah. That's the way it rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least Netflix didn't crash again, right?
Not that I saw.
Okay. All right. That's good.
No.
They have a problem with
I was watching a few things that was all going on.
ADD Theater kicking in?
Well, yeah. Well, Rip Wheeler's back.
I saw that.
On Paramount. I got to like that. All right, we got to get to a news update, and Nimrods of the news in just a few.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. Okay, so there's an interview with Trump, and it's brought up. Hey, 4 to 6 weeks on Iran. Fair question, right?
Well, that's what he told us.
Yeah, Brett Baer asked the Trumpster about that. Hey, what happened to the 4 to 6 weeks thing?
You did say it was going to be fairly quick, and you said it numerous times.
Venezuela was sending drugs in at a level that was terrible, and they did something that was a terrible, mortal sin. They emptied their prisons into our country, okay? That was terrible, and that was different. This one is, I guess you could say, worse. That was pretty bad. You don't get much worse. Emptying your prisons, drug dealers, murderers into our country, that's pretty bad. But you could say this is worse. In this one, they are trying to make a nuclear weapon. I've stopped it twice. They would have had it 2 years ago. They would have used it already on Israel and the rest of the Middle East. Look at all the missiles shot at people that didn't think they were even involved. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, look at all. I mean, Bahrain, Kuwait, they got all shot at. Nobody thought they were even involved in this thing. They would have used a nuclear weapon on the Middle East. One thing.
All right, time out. Is this all part of the weave?
It is part of the weave, yes.
With the 4 to 6 weeks question?
Well, that hasn't been answered yet.
No,
that's why I'm asking if it's the weave.
It's the four-corner stall. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I'll make clear right now, they said very specifically, because I deal with them, I said, we're taking the nuclear dust. They said, you can have it. I said, we're going to go get it. We're not going to let you take it. They said, we can't take it. We don't have the capability of taking it. I said, why? I said, because it was hit so hard. I mean, the mountain literally collapsed on it, a granite mountain.
So why isn't that good
Just
enough?
so you know. Well,
I mean, if your goal was to set back.
It is good enough, but you know what? It's not good enough public relations-wise.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I'm confused on that one.
Yeah. I understand what we're doing. I feel like I do. Overall, with Iran.
Yeah.
The problem with putting the 4 to 6 weeks on it is you got to get it done in that time.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's what, when that started, I was like, I don't know. I mean, you better be right about it if you're saying 4 to 6 weeks, man, because then we know there's going to be economic fallout from it. And, well, here we are now, well past the 4 to 6 weeks thing. That's why there are people getting nervous about this now.
Yeah, because I really did think, okay, they got to know something that's probably going to be wrapped up in 4 to 6 weeks, and you thought it was going to, and then it just wasn't.
I think maybe naively, I think there was some sort of feeling that after the shelling and bombing they took, that they would throw their hands up and go, okay, all right, enough. They didn't.
Yeah, the next wave gets killed. And
and then you just are like, well, they didn't. If that was the idea, they thought they were all of a sudden going to wave the white flag, well.
And there were, some indicators last week that something was going to go down again, like there was going to be a whole other campaign. And maybe that means this week, once the meeting with China is out of the way now. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, this holding pattern right now, this isn't doing anybody any good.
No.
So we'll see what happens.
No, eye on it. I mean, you think they know more than we do, certainly. And maybe there's something afoot that we're not aware of at this point in time.
When it comes down to it, honestly, when you're dealing with Trump and Vance and Rubio, just say those three, have enough trust, to go along with, okay, they understand the situation. And I trust them to make the right calls, Hegseth to how to accomplish the goals. The one thing that, it was out there for a little while, I haven't heard much about it lately, was that Vance wasn't all for this in the beginning.
Yeah.
And maybe nervous that it was going to turn into what we're looking at now. That's a possibility. But they're still pretty united. It seems, at least as far as out front, in front of the public.
Well, yeah, in the public eye, they are. It's Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Period.
Yes, and that's the message. Yeah, more and more when you're just talking to people are losing patience more and more all the time.
Well, and you've got. I mean, again, this is where the media goes. They go right to the gas pumps. Well, you got the weary traveler there.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, hey, we can't, we were going to take this vacation. We're not going to take it now.
Yes.
And, it was flights are more expensive. Everything went up, and
yes.
I really didn't think that was going to happen. That's why I voted the way I voted or whatever. They find it. And again, I mean, can I see the big picture? Yeah, I can see it. But you got to be better at selling it.
I would agree.
So
I would agree with that.
That's all.
I happened to see this. And I was actually surprised to see this out of the main newspaper out of Minneapolis, calling it an open secret. New records reveal Minnesota officials, failed to act when it came to all the fraud there.
This is unbelievable. Yeah. Somebody needs to go to jail. Somebody does.
Yes. This at the Minnesota Star Tribune. Were you surprised they did this whole piece?
A little bit, because once they start, getting into the territory of criticizing their dear leaders, they usually back off a little bit. But I think it's one of those things where there have to be a lot of professional journalists who realize they got scooped by a young man with a camcorder.
Yes.
and who is walking into the Quality Leering Center and asking, hey, where are the kids? What's going on here?
No kidding. And
don't you think in media circles, though, David, that it was whispered that this was going on?
Oh, they knew. I think that's the point.
Knew, and they knew what was happening.
Yes. But I think enough people now know where it is this weird place. And again, you're getting into mind reading, or at least I am right now. Is like, all right, what were the journalists thinking? All of a sudden, could it be, wow, it really appears that we're just trying to run cover for these corrupt people instead of giving news to the actual people we're supposed to serve. Maybe we should do some reporting on this. It sounds crazy, but I think that might be what's happening.
Could very well be. Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Saying state education officials repeatedly raised concerns about possible fraud in the federally funded meals program during the pandemic, but their supervisors stopped them from taking more aggressive action. Well, that tells you a lot. 3 state employees told investigators that their managers discouraged aggressive oversight because they were afraid of lawsuits. Well, you're looking like you're Islamophobic here.
Well, exactly.
And it says the interviews provide a rare inside account of the state's botched response to early warning signs of fraud and how legal concerns and delayed enforcement allowed the scheme to grow. Siphoning, you know how much money. I mean, it's just astronomical. But it is a long piece, and it's worth a read. It's easy to find. One of the employees of the Minnesota Department of Education, Jenny Butcher, and they have the part of the whole FBI report in this, that she had tried to blow the whistle on this thing but said she would get her hand slapped by management when she would do internet research related to applications to bring up issues. Like, they shouldn't be getting money. Why are they getting money? And it goes on down the line. And certainly Governor Tim Walz has mentioned in this plenty of times. So, yeah, I'm glad they did that. I don't know if that's going to change anything or not. We shall see. All right, we've got a story of a historian. Claims telling the truth is like what?
It's a Nazi tactic.
Telling the truth?
Yes. So Heather Cox Richardson, she's a liberal historian who claims that the GOP jumping on fraud cases and pointing out Democrat state gerrymandering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the Nazis did.
Okay, roll it.
The Republicans have perfected a technique for a long time now. It's really became very obvious in the 2000 presidential election. But it's an old propaganda technique in which you accuse your opponent of what you yourself are doing. And we tend to...
Okay, she's got that bass backwards there.
Yes. Well, I mean, especially if you look at Marxist ideology and what they call dialectics and all of that, that is part of the playbook. It's spelled out in black and white.
Yes.
Always accuse your enemy of what of doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Put them on the defensive.
The left does it repeatedly. Okay, roll it.
And we tend to identify that in modern American politics with Karl Rove, who's a Republican operative. But in fact, it's an old propaganda technique that is often identified with Nazi Germany. And the idea behind it is that if you accuse your opponent of what you are doing, it's very difficult then for people to understand when the opponent comes back and says, well, wait a minute, you're doing it too. And what that does is it creates confusion so that people tend to throw out both sides of the equation and say, well, they're both corrupt or neither is corrupt. It muddies the waters around that issue.
That's really rich, man. I mean, you talk about it a lot with the left. Deception is the game. You can't be honest about what you're really about. Gender-affirming care.
Right. We used to rename stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Repackage it.
Reproductive
Women's
health access.
Health care, yes.
Yeah.
Health access, all that mumbo-jumbo BS. That's what it is. You know, I was thinking this Monday, you know, people are getting back to work. You know, you wish the weekend was longer or whatever. I see some stories like, you know what, it could always be worse, right? There could be things going on that you probably don't have to deal with, like this family out of Laredo, Texas, being held hostage in their house by bees.
Bees?
Yes.
They can't get out of the house because of bees?
Dude, the kid gets stung. The dog's getting stung.
Oh,
There's bees like crazy.
God.
They did a report on it down there. This is Marina Flores.
I'm coming. It's just that they're swarming around here.
She
They're
can't
all
get out
over
the door.
place. And they won't let me go out. They won't let us go out. We go run our errands, and then we rush back inside. We're all stuck indoors putting away the groceries. And no, they simply won't let us get out. They attack us. All I want is for them to clean out the creek. Just to clean out the creek and fumigate it.
Yeah. Crazy.
We also reached out to the city for a response, and city officials told us they have been investigating the issue over the past several days. While they say the area is private property, officials add that health and safety concerns have prompted the city to step in and clean up the area. The city also says it is working with the property owners and expect the property to be properly maintained moving forward.
Okay, and as I'm watching this story, you got like one dude, he's got this sting on his nose. Oh, yeah, massive. Dog was stung.
Dang.
I know. See, it's like that's
what do you do with the dog?
The dog's got to go out sometime.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got
every time they go out, man, the bees are going like crazy.
Bring the little bee suit for the dog to wear.
I know, which is crazy.
Oh, no, not the bees!
See?
Not the bees! Ah!
Every time.
Oh, my eyes!
It's not funny. And that's not overacting at all from Nicolas Cage. One of his finest performances from The Wicker Man.
Oscar-worthy.
Of course it is. Okay, much to get to, including the 5 stories we're watching today. Straight ahead. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins, and the 5 stories we're watching today.
All right, number 5. You may have remembered an expose from James O'Keefe. He went to Los Angeles and discovered there was a woman registering homeless people to vote, paying them in booze, cigarettes, some cash, all that. Well, that woman's name was Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong. Well, she's pleaded guilty. She has agreed to a plea deal admitting she paid homeless people on Skid Row to register to vote in federal elections to support her paid signature gathering business.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 4, Luigi Manion has secured a partial legal victory after a judge ruled that evidence recovered from his backpack at a McDonald's must be suppressed in court. Now, that does not include a notebook, a diary of sorts, or the firearm used to kill the head of United Healthcare. Meanwhile, there are some, I guess, they're credentialed press, but they're activists outside of the courthouse, and they're talking about this, saying, they're promoting jury nullification to the most cucked and submissive population in all of human history. These are 2 women who actually got press credentials from the New York City mayor's office. And one of them said, I'm saying bleep Brian Thompson, the CEO. I don't give a flying bleep that he died.
No. That whole thing's going viral, too.
Yeah, another one of them said that Thompson's teenage sons are better off without him and they should just enjoy the blood money.
Golly.
That's evil, man. All right, let's go down to number 3. Number 2, the U.S. has restricted entry for foreign nationals who have been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan within the past 21 days, citing concerns over the ongoing Ebola outbreak. That's a big old middle finger to the World Health Organization because they're like, hey, don't close down your borders. That's non-scientific. How is it non-scientific? That makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't.
And then number 1, President Trump is warning Iran that the clock is ticking on a proposed nuclear deal that will ensure Tehran never obtains a nuclear weapon.
And then there's word that, now they want to come back to the bargaining table.
We'll see.
I just don't believe that.
And who's bargaining? Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We still don't know who's bargaining.
Yeah.
Who they're bargaining with, against. We don't know anything.
Yeah, GRC, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I happened to see this story. There was a tour that was canceled, music tour. David, you had talked the other day about the Blue Dots. That, an artist is not selling out, enough. Sometimes they'll use a different excuse. Oh, because of whatever. Had to cancel this part of the tour, but it's because they weren't selling tickets. Mm-hmm. This artist is freely admitting, that's why I'm canceling. That artist would be Kiefer Sutherland. Did you know he had a music career?
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, he had a band.
Certainly didn't know he was touring anywhere.
Yes, he's canceling the U.S. leg of his country tour due to low ticket sales. And this was the statement he made. I don't think it's fair to the people who have bought tickets or the venues to play half-empty houses. I look forward to touring the United States again at a more suitable time. I hope you understand. It's not fair to the other people. I've been to plenty of shows where it's a half-packed house. I don't care if no one else is there. I'm there to see you, dude.
Yeah.
Or the band.
Yeah.
I got to have other people go, to make the concert experience good for me? No.
Maybe. I don't know. I wonder if he's, if the rental or the reservation at the venue is on his dime.
That's what you wonder. And it's not fair to the venue.
He's his own promoter?
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show.
Country Kiefer. Not happening.
Apparently not.
What do these guys always want to do that for? It's like every actor wants to be a musician. Every musician wants to be an actor. They just can't stop. They can't enjoy what it is they do.
Every politician wants to be a podcaster. Every podcaster wants to be a comedian, and every comedian wants to be a podcaster.
There you go.
Every bus driver wants to be a podcaster. Everybody on the planet wants to be a podcaster.
It was funny. I heard Robbins on a podcast, our buddy's podcast.
Yeah.
And he brought up that you hate everyone having a podcast. And you're like, yeah, I can't stand it. Whatever. He's like, I have a podcast. Yeah, but you're different.
Well, you get asked to be on a show, you got to be good.
Of course, yes. All right, a couple of news updates to get to. And what's your story? Just a few. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. David Van Camp, the millennial, the sexy boomer. That's Scott Robbins. Might have heard about a big protest going on in the UK over the weekend. They've had enough. Saying we got to have some pride in the country. We got to have freedom of speech. We got to be able to tell the truth. What's going on here?
Well, it's about time they woke up and pushed back. It might be too late, though.
Might be. What, Sharia law next here?
Yes,
what's going
it is
on
next there, yes.
But you can't say that.
Oh.
Because that's Islamophobic.
Yeah, I know. They'd lock me up for that.
So, Daily Wire News is doing a story on it. They brought in journalist Alan Miller to talk about it and about the live facial recognition that's happening. And people don't like it in the UK because all of a sudden it's like, well, you were there? Well, we're keeping tabs on you. Watch out.
Well, we've had a lot of people saying that they're not happy with the introduction of live facial recognition on our streets. And this was the first time that they were doing it at a big protest like this. And they said they're going to do it only for the people who are coming to unite the kingdom, not to the other protests where all sorts of things have been chanted and said. Some things, when they talk about incitement to hatred or violence that are linked to, as I say, terror organisations and other things. So it's not to do those protests, but it is to do unite the kingdom. And at the same time, the Prime Minister said that they're going to make sure that their police will be checking what people are saying. And he took great pride in saying that he stopped people coming into the country to speak, people from the States, people from Europe, at a time when they don't seem as diligent to be able to stop and protect our borders from other people. And the British public is not prepared to be prevented from insisting on freedom, free speech and privacy just because people call them names and insulted. And actually, it's going to be counterproductive. And I really hope to see a situation where with all these things, like with the rights to have a jury trial, which they're trying to stop, with imposing digital ID, with limiting free speech, that we turn this around with everyone and the public and have our voices heard and make Britain better together.
And there's part of me that's listening to him, and I don't know this guy at all. But it sounds like he's choosing his words carefully. Or is that just me?
Oh, no, he was. Absolutely
Okay.
he was.
Yeah, it seemed that way. He was a little more direct when he went on about it, that people are furious.
So for the last couple of years, since October the 7th and the brutal attacks there have been these pro-Palestine rallies and demonstrations, having really significant numbers. We've seen everything as it happens from support to terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah, people celebrating those type of jihadi ideals, some of them there. Many people say they're scared to come into London. And often it's presented that if you criticize those things, you're an Islamophobe or you're a racist. And they should be able to discuss these things without them being smeared and branded. And that's something that's very concerning to people, and people are very furious about it.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah, you're surrendering your country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are, because you don't want to be rude to the wrong people instead of just telling the truth.
Exactly. I mean, free speech debate, isn't that what it's supposed to be built on?
Well, that ship sailed.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, are you calling it hate?
Yeah.
But you're going to look the other way as young girls are being raped.
Yeah, it's sad. It's bad.
Be a man.
Look, man. Yeah.
Stand up for what's right.
I don't know.
And there are plenty that are trying to do it.
Kept hearing the guy talk, and I kept waiting for this one's off Some Girls. It's called Miss You.
Oh, you think it's like the
It
Stones?
sounds like Mick Jagger. He does sound, to me, he sounds like Mick Jagger. But.
Man, I didn't pick that up at all.
I didn't either.
Oh, I got that.
Can we have 10 seconds of it to see if...
Yeah, I can bring it back. Just from that, like that last clip?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Got to open it back up. Alan Miller on being Islamophobe or whatever the way he said it. Not Islamophobic, but...
Islamophobic.
Yes.
Islamophobic. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Islamophobic.
Okay. Here we go.
So for the last couple of years, since October the 7th and the brutal attacks there have been these pro-Palestine rallies and demonstrations, having really significant numbers. We've seen everything as it happens from...
Okay, so
I hear it.
So what you're saying is because it's a bit of a British accent, he sounds like Mick Jagger.
You think all British people sound the same?
Yep, he does.
Are you Britphobic?
Is that what that is? Is there such a
I think
thing?
he sounds more like Ricky Gervais, personally. But
I
suppose. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing Mick in my head. I don't know why.
They could be. Did you listen to the Stones over the weekend?
Yeah, I listen to Stones practically every weekend. At some point, yes. But that's not really. I don't think
it
it's
is.
going to do with it.
I will say it does make the story more entertaining when you're picturing that it's like a button-down Mick Jagger explaining hate crime law in the UK.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's almost like, wow, that's.
I think I have a clip of Mick Jagger talking about Paul McCartney saying the Beatles were better than the Stones.
Oh, okay. Well,
so we could compare.
The Rolling Stones, a big concert band in other decades and other eras when the Beatles never even did an arena tour with a decent sound system, that they broke up before they even...
Boy, you think I'm like handpicking? This is the first clip I found. Before, I do prefer the Stones over the Beatles. Now that's a pretty good argument there.
That business started. So that business started in 1969, and the Beatles never experienced that. Yeah, they played and they did a great gig, and I was there in Shea Stadium. But, the Stones went on, and we started doing stadium gigs in the 70s and still doing them now. So, that's the real big difference between these two bands. That one band is unbelievably, luckily, still playing in stadiums, and the other band doesn't exist.
There's Mick. I took a detour I didn't see happening, but hey, it was enjoyable.
Well, I hear it a little bit. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's to me, it was when I first heard him, I'm like, oh, that guy sounds like Mick Jagger, but
yeah,
maybe they all do sound alike to me on some level. I don't know.
Well, if they're from Oasis, you can barely understand if it's
that's real
Liam Gallagher.
Yes,
yeah. And you'd have to beep out every other word.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's that time. We go around the table. It may not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention. David, what's your story here?
Well, Democrat Senate candidate James Tallarico, he is assuring Texas voters that he is not gay, sort of. That's been out there for a while because he's just never been seen in public with a woman before, and he kind of has that vibe. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just very odd, that whole thing. Well, this was on the somebody named Jamie Kern Lima. I don't know who this person is, cosmetics podcaster or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, prove you're not gay by going on a cosmetic person's podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, James.
He's already got a hard enough time proving he's a Christian. Now he's trying to prove that he's not.
Well, he's not
okay.
a Christian.
The biggest question, not even close, the most popular question that we got asked is, are you single? Are you single? So you have a girlfriend.
I do.
Of many years.
I do. And she is my rock. She is my best friend. I don't know if I could have gotten through the last 6 months of this crazy race if she hadn't been by my side. So, yeah, thanks for asking about her as well.
Do you want kids one day? What can you share with us about that?
Well, now you sound like my mom asking when I'm going to give her another grandbaby. I definitely do. I definitely do want to have kids one day.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard in the middle of this campaign to think, the next week ahead. Certainly hard to think that far in advance, but it's definitely something that I want to do one day.
Okay.
Well, if he's got a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend, why hasn't she appeared anywhere with him?
Well, so the story is that the girlfriend, she goes to another school. You wouldn't know her, first and foremost, but totally hot. She's shy. But apparently she had been his chief of staff at some point or something. And and doesn't want her name out there because she's afraid of getting like death threats, which seems kind of odd. But especially because, you are the one with the guy who wants to be a U.S. senator.
Right.
What I'm saying is he went to rent a beard and got her.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like. I love the way he's like, yes, I totally would love to have kids someday. It's just really busy right now. But I assure you, I want to impregnate a woman.
Got it.
Absolutely. That is something on my to-do list at some point.
God, maybe you remember me telling you about that time I was on vacation with my brother and my parents. I was 14. We were in Branson, and I met this girl fishing. And, she was hot.
Of course.
And, I got pictures and stuff. And we're together. I mean, you're never going to see her.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But man, you should read the letters from her, man.
I just keep thinking of the song Imaginary Lover from the Atlanta Rhythm section that rolls through my mind.
I have the letters. Why do those letters look like they're in your handwriting? We're soulmates, man. We're soulmates. We even had the same handwriting.
I started sending her letters. She's like, I think I could copy your style.
Because I love you.
Yes.
I want to be more like you.
All right, Scotty, what do you got for your story?
2 Americans were arrested in Japan on Monday, last Monday, after breaking into an enclosure of the beloved Punch the Monkey.
Oh, my gosh.
The 9-month-old
that
little
thing's
internet
not dead
sensation.
Yet?
No, it's been resurrected. Police in Tokyo suburb claim that Reed Jahani Dason, 24, and Neil Jahabi Dune, 27, after one of the men allegedly jumped to the fence and to enter the enclosure while his other friend was filming it. They are on masks of a Bitcoin company, by the way, while they were pulling it. They're going to jail. They didn't get to the monkey to punch, but they got close to punch. One of them was carrying a stuffed animal under his arm, too.
Oh, my gosh.
At the same time. So it did go viral, though. It did go viral after the images were shown of these guys. So I guess they got what they wanted out of the deal. But like they said, hey, if you're going to pull that kind of stuff, stay home and do it in America. They're like, yeah, but Punch isn't in America. Punch is here. So anyway.
Did you set up like a Google alert for Punch the Monkey? Or something lame like that?
I do get messages about if there's any new information about Punch, yes. Boy, oh boy. Because I love Punch the Monkey.
I know you do. Yes.
He was abandoned by his mother and his friends.
Because he irritates everybody.
He didn't say anything. He's just a cute little guy.
No, you don't know the whole story.
He got picked last at kickball. I mean, if at all.
Yeah, but he was a jerk.
Yeah. He was like the jihadi monkey. Just didn't know it. Anyway.
He was the jihadi monkey. Got it.
I know nothing about it.
Nobody really
wanted
to play with him.
That was the thing. They were scared of him.
Yeah.
They didn't know he was going to go jihadi on him.
That thing he was dragging around may have had some potion or something in it. Yeah.
Anyway, for my story, it's just a little piece of an interview from Coleman Hughes. He was interviewing Michael Schellenberger, and I found this pretty refreshing because Schellenberger, he was Obama's climate guy at one time. He has gone back on several different things and admitted, I was wrong. I always think, well, good for you. Because you can change your mind. You get new evidence, whatever it might be. I mean, you don't want to just, keep standing strong on a throne of lies. That's no good. One of the things they were talking about was Epstein. Because Schellenberger isn't one of those guys that says, yeah, I'm convinced that he killed himself. He says, I think because he had tried suicide before, you can make the case that he was suicidal. He also doesn't say that it was absolutely suicide. Because he said, well, the other scenario is also plausible. Because when you're talking about Epstein's operation that may have had intelligence community connections, it's possible that someone took him out.
Mm-hmm.
But he just kind of opened mind on that. So the question to him was, what is it like to be able to change your mind and not just go along with a conspiracy theory that everyone seems to be for? This is what he said.
Wow, that's a really interesting question. I mean, I think that I've been so wrong before. And in some ways, my whole career has been about describing how I've been wrong. And that's mostly been on issues related to leftism. So really starts on climate change, but then nuclear, and then homelessness, and now our book that will come out in January really goes through the big 9 progressive issues in depth. And I have an advantage because I don't have to. I can interview a lot of leftists, but I can also just look at how I thought about things, and I can remember them. And so I think that. Why? I mean, because I have an ego just like everybody else, and I don't like being wrong, and I don't like admitting that I'm wrong, and I don't like the nasty things people say about me after I, change my mind on Epstein, for example. But I think, I'm a spiritual person, and I think that we, live on, and that we have souls that are marked by our behaviors, and I think that my fear of God is greater than my fear of public opinion.
I'm like, man, that's refreshing.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to a news update, and Nimrod's in the news in just a few right here. The Markley Van Camp and Robbins Show. You know, a lot of people talk about the weight loss injections because the results look dramatic, and they work by lowering blood sugar and crushing your appetite. Thing is, for a lot of people, they don't want the injections. They don't want to mess with the needles, and they've also heard about some pretty intense side effects. They don't want that either. If you're in that boat and thinking, I would like the results, but I don't want to sign myself up for all that other stuff, there is something that's been working for a lot of people.
Yeah, the ingredients in lean are actually studied to help lower blood sugar, support fat burning, help curb appetite and craving, so you're not constantly thinking about food. And again, this is not for somebody trying to lose 3 pounds before a beach trip. Lean was designed for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose.
And right now, the timing's perfect, too, because Brickhouse Nutrition is having a huge Memorial Day sale. You get lean for 20% off when you go to takelean.com. Use what?
25% off.
What did I say? 20%?
Yes.
I'm sorry. 25% off. Thank you, David. At takelean.com. Use the promo code ThankYou25. That's what it says. That's ThankYou25 at takelean.com for 25% off during the Memorial Day sale. Thank you.
Okay.
What'd you ring me up for the second time for?
Just for fun. Sorry.
That was accurate.
Well, here's Nimrods.
When
That's
the going
accurate.
gets tough,
Damn it, this is too hard.
the dumb get dumber.
All right, Dean.
It's Nimrods in the news on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
Well, I got to make it fast here. After the overtime with the ump. Basically, family purchases urn from Amazon, arrives with ashes already inside.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's Nimrod's in the news.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. News update, David Van Camp.
Well, you've got a court appearance for Luigi Manion, the guy who allegedly shot and killed Brian Thompson, the head of United Healthcare.
And we allegedly saw him do it on video.
Yes, we allegedly saw with our own alleged 2 eyes him allegedly murder a man in cold blood. Allegedly, that blood was cold.
Yes.
But as a result of moves made by the New York City Council and by former Mayor Bill de Blasio, you can apply, just anybody can apply to get press credentials at City Hall. You don't have to have access to a printing press or any sort of real outlet. And so you can just go in. And so a couple of activists have showed up to go cover the trial, but they're not really covering the trial. They're actually pushing for jury nullification, and they want to interfere in the trial.
Okay.
And because, one of them says revolutions have been fought for far less than United Healthcare with its massive 3% profit margin.
Yeah, compared to the hospitals getting like 18%. Right?
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, and I was really surprised that United Healthcare's profit margin was 3% as opposed to like 15 to 25% for a whole lot of major hospital systems.
Yep.
So not saying everything works great. No, I think everybody agrees that the insurance system, hospital system kind of sucks when it comes to payment.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. But here is Lena Weisbrot and Ashley Rojas talking about, why they want to interfere in the trial.
His children are better off without him.
Brian Thompson's children, his kids.
His children are better off without him. They need to learn to not be like their dad.
Because you know the family.
The blood money.
Dummy.
Kids.
Brian Thompson. I don't give a flying about it. Millions of Americans.
I liked it.
I liked it. Watching this guy get murdered in cold blood.
Yeah. Well, that's a dark soul, isn't it?
That really is.
Not surprised. Boy.
They are a fun bunch, aren't they?
Sure are. Okay. Other news, of course. People are like, when's the Iran war going to end? Supposed to be maybe some more negotiations. Who knows? Trump mentioned as soon as he sees something in a proposal, like first sentence doesn't like it, just chucks it. Done. Don't need it.
I look at it, and if I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away. If they have any nuclear of any form, I don't read the rest of it.
Yep, so that's where we're there. That's where we're at with that.
Oh.
Well, there you go. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Maybe they need to write, Dear Donald, we really liked your book, The Art of the Deal. So at least he reads to the second sentence.
Yeah, that would be progress.
You are very good at basketball.
I mentioned last week I thought something would go down last week.
Yeah.
I think something's going to go down this week.
Well, based on your previous predictions, I'll bet something does happen then, because you're never wrong.
Oh, do you want to bet on it?
No, I don't want to bet on anything with you. No, I already owe you money. I can't do it.
You're only down
$50 or so.
90.
90? Am I down really that much? Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Jasmine, jury's still out on Jasmine.
Yeah, that's not till August 2027 where
yeah.
you said she would be polling top 3.
Yes, I did say that. Yeah,
Yes.
It was probably a mistake. I felt the energy.
Probably?
Though. I felt the Jasmine energy coming.
You did?
Yes.
And it's always good to bet on your feelings.
Yes.
Jasmentum, yes.
Betting on your feelings is what keeps the world round, man.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Without that, there is no Vegas, right?
Got it.
Yeah, you got to bet with your feelings.
Jim Comey has a message to the deep state, David?
Yes, former FBI Director James Comey is telling his buddies in the deep state, hey, just wait Trump out. Don't make any waves, okay? Because we can exact our rebuild this institution.
Oh, yes, of course.
The people running it, if you're bragging about forcing out career prosecutors and agents because the president doesn't like a lawful investigation they conducted, something is seriously broken at the top. But I have great confidence in the people down below who are just trying to hang on. And I'm urging them, hang on. 2.5 years, and then we can rebuild these institutions. But we need good people in those roles. America does.
I need saving is what he's saying.
This guy.
Well, I tend to think that if you're opening up a FBI counterintelligence investigation into a presidential candidate, then president-elect, all knowing that the information you're using as a jumping-off point is false and paid for by his top political rival at the time, there's something seriously rotten at the top.
Yes.
And that's what James Comey's legacy really is.
It is. Yeah, if you're just looking at the information that's available out there, that's what it is. Some other things we hadn't had a chance to get to yet. Oh, the FBI, that 12-hour operation. Fast, coordinated, very intentional. 12-hour window, FBI worked with international partners to extradite and arrest 2 major figures tied to terrorism and transnational crime. First senior operative tied to an Iran-backed terrorist group, Khatib Hezbollah.
Old Khatib.
According to charges, he was involved in directing nearly 20 attacks and plots across Europe and North America. And not minor incidents either. Planned and executed attacks targeting Jewish sites and synagogues, arson operations in London, a shooting tied to the U.S. consulate in Toronto, a foiled plot to bomb a synagogue in New York City. The second arrest is tied to Trentaragua, the Venezuelan gang. A high-level member was extradited from Colombia, now facing terrorism-related charges in the United States tied to drug trafficking, extortion, and organized violence networks. There you go. Man, oh man. Also, the NFL. Interesting story. The DEI policies under legal pressure. You were interested in this, Scott.
A little bit, yeah, I am.
In Florida, the state's attorney general issued a formal subpoena targeting the league's hiring practices, including the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
So they're reviewing requirements to interview minority candidates, incentives tied to hiring or developing minority coaches, and internal diversity tracking and reporting. They're saying if hiring decisions are being influenced by race, even indirectly, that could violate civil rights laws. What do you think of that?
Well, I always think sports is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't matter, your color of skin or your religion or anything else. Can you win or not win?
Right. Are you good at it?
Are you going to help? Are you going to be good at this? Well, then you're going to get hired.
Yes.
I've always felt that. I always thought sports was like that. It's like you could throw out all the other stuff and you can talk about different hiring practices, different places. But when it comes to sports, it's all about the W.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who's, again, skin color, whatever. None of that matters.
But what about coaching?
I think it's the same thing. You win as a coach. You win as a coach, you keep your job. You win as a coach, you get a job. You're a leader of men, you get a job. So there you go. And when you prove otherwise, if you prove otherwise, then you get fired like everybody else does.
Well, speaking of DEI type stuff, legal education, American Bar Association voted to repeal its DEI accreditation requirement, which had required law schools to show concrete actions toward diversity goals. That standard had already been paused, but now it's being formally removed. So law schools will no longer have to meet the specific DEI benchmarks.
So again, qualify, you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is true.
Can't that was standards. Can't do it.
That was hot off the heels of the Yale Medical School story, which was kind of wild.
Which is frightening.
Oh, because
of what could have happened or what has been happening, yeah.
Well, with that Yale story, the intentional discrimination, black applicants had up to a 29 times higher odds of receiving interviews compared to similarly qualified Asian applicants.
Yeah.
29 times. And then, you're looking at the GPA and the MCAT scores. You're letting people in that should never have been in there.
Which is, again, and I think you said at one of these places the fail rate was 50% or something like that.
UCLA.
Yeah. Like
yes.
That's insane, and that's not doing anybody any favors. Because one, you're churning out fewer doctors. That's a problem.
Yes.
And then also the people who are going into debt. You go a couple years in medical school. That's not cheap. Then you can't cut it, and you quit.
Yes.
That's not doing that person any favors.
Of course not.
Just find the best people.
But you could go home feeling good about yourself. Right. And you could say, I love black people.
Right.
Like a scene out of Jerry Maguire.
Ones that didn't make it, get a podcast.
There you go. That's always the answer, Scott.
It's a C.
Also, did you hear the story about Chief Warrant Officer 5 Kenny Kelly, a highly experienced Army aviator, fully reinstated? You know why?
Mm-mm.
Well, being discharged in 2022 for refusing the vax.
Gosh, dang.
Yep. He is receiving full back pay, restored benefits, retirement credit, and active duty placement. So
I can't believe there's
he's
not
back serving.
Millions of people in this line.
I think there's a whole lot.
That this is because, we know people who lost their jobs based on not receiving the vax.
Yes. Part of a broader effort to reverse mandate-related separations and restore personnel. And it's interesting, this isn't getting a lot of coverage from legacy media because this person's black. And a lot of people will say, if it's a black person losing a government job because of Trump, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But not this person getting their job back.
Well, because they pretty much to a person believe that the people who lost their jobs, whether it's in the U.S. military or in the private sector because they wouldn't get this COVID shot, they deserved it.
Absolutely.
They see that as just.
Yep.
Unreal. Yeah. Also, I didn't have time for this the other day. I wanted to see what you guys thought of this story. Maybe you've seen it. It's the new spoon that will basically put your phone into airport mode.
Huh.
From Halo Top ice cream. It's called the silent mode spoon. It's an embedded NFC chip that can be set to activate Do Not Disturb mode on both iPhone and Android smartphones, so that you can just have a conversation without interruption while you're having dessert.
Because that's not going to get used for evil, right?
It might.
Yay! We just mass marketed phones or spoons that can just jam people's phones.
Yes. It's only $4.90.
Oh,
I
see,
know.
that break the bank.
It's like a cell phone jammer. You're going to a nice dinner or something like that. Somebody slaps that phone down on the table, and you're just thinking it's silverware.
Yeah.
Spy Tech, brought to you by an ice cream company that should have thought things through better.
Hey, dude, why'd you bring your own spoon? Well, I like it.
I know.
I like the use of my own spoon.
Thing is, the whole $4.90 is because the Halo Top is 490 calories. It all goes together with the marketing. They have gotten a lot of attention because of this.
Yeah.
Around people just, instead of being on their phones, actually having a conversation during dessert.
Is it easy to come off of it? You just push a button and it comes off? I don't trust this stuff at all.
Well, sure.
For $4.90.
Yeah, it's just the building chip. Yeah.
Then they're going to come out with the credit card skimmer ice cream scooper.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
I don't know. We'll see in the end, was this a good marketing plan or not? If it gets attention and sells ice cream and people are talking about it, I don't know that it's bad as far as marketing. Maybe a bad idea. All right, the 5 stories we're watching today and much more straight ahead. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. You know what it's time for? Yeah. The 5 stories we're watching today.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, number 5, Alex Murtaugh, the formerly now, I guess, convicted murderer. His conviction got tossed. So got a new trial on the way. His lawyer, Dick Harpootlian, announced a federal civil rights lawsuit against former court clerk Becky Hill for jury tampering. Now, that murder conviction was tossed because Hill was telling the jury to do things like look at his body language, like she was working the refs in a big way. Can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Alex Murtaugh or anything like that, but yeah, he should probably win that pretty easily.
What's the name of his attorney again?
Dick Harpootlian.
Sounds like the keyboard player with Jethro Tull. Dick Harpootlian.
Number 4, Google changed their map of L.A. using old pre-fire satellite imagery, and people were wondering, hey, wait a minute, the mayoral election is like 2 weeks away. I don't know if it's that deep, but Google is responding. They're saying this is a technical issue triggered by a recent routine update to satellite imagery in Google Maps and Earth, which accidentally restored old imagery from before the fires. We are fixing it ASAP.
Got the pressure on.
You bet.
Number 3, the World Health Organization has labeled the Ebola outbreak in Africa as a public health emergency of international concern. However, they wrote, no country should close its borders or place any restrictions on travel and trade. Those measures are usually implemented out of fear and have no basis in science. Okay, sure. The Trump administration took that very seriously because, number 2, the U.S. has restricted entry for foreign nationals who've been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan within the past 3 weeks. Concerning the Ebola outbreak. Number 1, President Trump warned Iran that the clock is ticking on a nuclear deal. You better get on this now.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Yeah. The word was they want to negotiate again, which means what?
Yeah. I'm waiting for an update from Dick Harpootlian.
Yes. So Scott. Hey, did you hear this story that's gone viral out of Louisiana?
I love that name.
I know you do.
Dick Harpootlian.
I'm
going to use that as a fake name when I sign into hotels now. Under Dick Harpootlian.
A baker in Louisiana, Julie Fridella, said she got this order for this huge birthday cake a few months back. The woman was ordering it for her boyfriend, Jonathan. It was a big celebration. It was going to feed 75 people. Well, right before she was due to pick it up, the woman found out Jonathan was cheating on her. So she said, listen, there's going to be no party. I know I got to pay for the cake. It's because it's done, basically. I can't cancel it. But I'd be willing to pay you an extra $100 if you just smashed it, like did a video. And she's like, well, I could do that. I could set it on fire.
Oh, gosh.
And so she did, and then lectured Jonathan in the video.
My client found out her boyfriend cheated on her the same day she was supposed to come pick up this big cake for him. She asked me, instead of picking up, can I smash it for her and send her a video? I told her, we're going to do one better. This is the video I sent her to send him. Jonathan is Julie with the Sweetheart, so just want to wish you a happy birthday. I had so much fun making this cake for your party tonight. It's just one thing I don't like. Cheaters, Jonathan. We don't like cheaters.
And boom. And there it is on fire. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Wow.
You seem scared, Scott.
Well,
maybe I thought I was Angela Bassett. If I could have filmed a walk off and the cake exploded, that would have been everything I needed. Moral of the story, stop playing with people, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about that?
Someone set the cake on fire.
By the way, a lot of people online was like, oh, Julie's white. Like, yeah, because you're watching the video. But if you only heard it.
What?
Like, yeah.
That lady right there?
Yes.
No.
100%. Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Attractive lady.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, you kind of get whatever sort of
accent, yeah.
people you're around. So there you go. Okay, got to get to a couple of news updates and the Robbins trifecta coming up. Lee Van Camp and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. News update, David Van Camp.
I can't believe it. I think the temperature of hell just got lowered a few degrees because J.B. Pritzker said something I agree with. The idiot Democrat governor of Illinois. I know. And I don't think I'm going to be alone here. So you know how the Chicago Bears, it looks like they're going to be moving across the border into Indiana or at least out of the city of Chicago.
Yes.
If not a Chicago suburb, then it'll be in Indiana, which is also a Chicago suburb in that.
Yeah, it'll be
portion.
Arlington Heights or it'll be in Gary or whatever.
So at the last minute, Brandon Johnson is out there trying to say, well, we're working around the clock, blah, blah, blah. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker asked about that.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a lot of love lost between those gentlemen, apparently. Here we go.
I know that the mayor has no plan. He has come up with no plan at all about how the Bears would end up in the city of Chicago, so that's problematic. I'd love them to be in the city, but we're 3 years in now, and he still has no plan. And in fact, this is kind of typical. The mayor has shown up every spring at the end of session to pronounce what he would like to see happen. And as you know, the budget gets put together starting in November. I present my budget, well, really we start at the beginning of a fiscal year, but about in November, we're in the details of the budget. I present that budget to the legislature in February. So that seems like a good time period to come talk to the governor's office. Then there's February to May. There's all that time to come talk to the legislature, which has my budget in hand, or the governor's office. Again, we've seen almost nothing out of the mayoral administration here on that subject or really any other. And so to show up in May and have a bunch of demands seems like late in the game, and it's unfortunate that's happened most years.
Whoa! Man, that's scorching hot right there. Yeah. He's a do-nothing mayor, apparently, according to J.B. Pritzker.
Which has been fine and dandy, but all of a sudden, it's starting to affect me.
Yes, all of a sudden.
And perceptions of me.
Oh, yeah, well, he's in for himself, yes.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you're dragging me down, and I'm not letting you do that.
Right. I don't give a flip about Chicago or anything in Illinois, but you're dragging me down, and I have presidential aspirations
he's
here.
going to be the governor that lost the Bears.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you in Chicago.
No. Nope. Speaking of Chicago, have you seen this thing that's gone viral? This black woman, she's 63 at the Cook County consent calendar meeting, and she's talking about all of these people getting up there talking about how it's hard for black people to vote, and she starts mocking them.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, roll it. Roll it. This is something. I don't know about cussing. I think it's okay.
It's not in danger, and you know it's not. And you know it's not. I'm 63 years old. I've been voting since I was 18. I have never had a problem voting. Now, that may apply to my mother and father. It applies to my grandparents. Surely it does. And in fact, because it does, every single person in this room, including that Jewish lady that just got up and talked, need to really be thanking us. Really need to be thanking us for getting y'all the right to vote, for getting y'all the right to be here, instead of sitting up here manipulating the Voting Rights Act like something's getting ready to happen to our right to vote, when you know that's not true. So now you all gonna drag black people in here, definitely some senior citizens, and gonna have them come up here and talk about how they scared to vote, how this messed up the right to vote, women need to vote, all that junk, when you know it's not true. Just like you sit up here and make like black people can't get IDs. Us requiring IDs to vote. It's going to stop black people from voting.
I got to tell you, the reason I'm laughing is I can see the video, and I know you guys can't.
No.
Her facial expressions as she's doing the mocking. It's hysterical, dude.
Why black people ain't got IDs?
She's looking at him with disdain.
You all get more and more ridiculous. But you can't, in this room full of these black people, talk about that federal case that just got filed Monday that's talking about how you all are stealing property at Cook County sales. Where the black people in here? Raise your hand that if they told you to come in here to talk about how your property got stolen. Where you at? Huh? Because we got commissioners in here that know for a fact it's happening. Catskill, you know it's happening. Lori, you know it's happening. Michael Scott, you know it's happening.
Naming them.
Williams, come on, you give up cases for the county. You know it's happening.
Boy, oh boy. See, when they go scorched earth like that, that's always fun.
It is.
That's happened in Chicago a number of times. People very upset with the way it's run.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just heard 2 unbelievable audio clips. I just heard 2.
Well, dude,
this show is must listen, folks. It's must listen. You're not going to hear that anywhere. Not back to back. I'll tell you that right now.
When the ship is going down, at some point in time.
Oh, the rat scatter.
Well, yes, and everybody's trying to save themselves in some sort of way, and some people just get fed up to where you're going to go out and just start speaking the truth.
Yeah, I like the
That's
way
what happens.
Pritzker, though, is now framing it as Brandon Johnson's a load when he's had, 3 years to figure that one out, if not more?
Yeah. It's never been, again, man,
because
never been a thing.
They were buddy there for a while.
Oh, yeah. But now it's affecting me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for your big 3?
Gosh, dang, those were good.
Are you ready?
1, 2, buckle my shoe on.
It's the 3 most important news stories of the day.
I hit the trifecta.
Well, at least according to Scott Robbins. It's the trifecta on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Every day about this time, Scott Robbins' top 3 stories, helped by his hero.
I'm Casey.
All right, Casey. Going to watch the NBA Finals tonight?
I don't think the finals are on tonight.
Or, no, I mean, whatever they call it now, the semifinals?
Conference finals.
Conference finals? Okay, I don't know what.
Yeah.
I got the wrong verbiage there.
Give it up.
Okay, ring me up. All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, good.
3.
By the way, I just want to say, Case, thank you so much. My daughter is just learning how to ride a bike without training wheels, and you were really good and patient with her yesterday. That was just really special.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a bum.
I didn't know how fast you could run. That dude is a sprinter.
Yeah, well, at least you showed up at one of our houses.
It's really been an honor for me.
Come to
That was really
mine.
nice. Yeah, I was nervous about it, and he was really just an old pro. All right, number 3.
Next weekend.
No, number 3. Americans can own a piece of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, what a better way to celebrate America's 250th birthday than owning a piece of Lady Liberty? Americans now own a piece of history thanks to something called Alchemist Mint, a precious metals operation. They announced last week that they're making limited edition coins named Lady Liberty Enlightening the World, made of copper that was actually removed from the Statue of Liberty during its 1984 to 86 restoration. Now, as a collector, a novice collector, I would love to have one of these. I don't want to pay $250 for it, though, which is the going rate.
Wow.
And I don't know how many they're going to mint, but probably a lot. And if they mint a lot, then that will devalue it, of course. And maybe your great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will come across it somewhere and be able to cash in.
You ever go up in the Statue of Liberty?
I did not. You know why? I'll tell you why. I went to New York with my daughter, and so we went out to Staten Island, and we were going to go on the Statue of Liberty. So we get there, and there's this police presence there. It's huge, and they won't let people by. A guy had gotten up in it and was threatening to shoot people.
Whoa.
So they cancel everything. I mean, it was done. So I never got a chance to go up, but I wanted to.
That's too bad.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'd like to. Was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay. David, you been up there?
I've been up there once, yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Would you say, David, it's like it was cool to do it once. Maybe it wasn't quite as cool as you thought it was going to be, but you were still kind of glad you did it? I think that's the way I would put it.
Yeah, well, probably we could do a whole show on stuff that you think is going to be cooler than it is.
My memory is tainted by the fact that I really had to pee the entire time.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
You wanted to pee off of Liberty?
Well, that's like hallowed ground, man.
What is wrong with you?
Now, on with the countdown.
Scott Robbins trifecta, top 3 of the day, up to number
2.
Number 2, New York is brutal for nervous bladders. Number 2, a female NASCAR driver quits mid-race.
Yeah, Natalie Decker. You guys heard of her? You know who she is?
No.
She was in the truck race Friday at Dover. After just 81 laps, NASCAR had black flagged her for being too slow. That was the second time this year she's been black flagged for being too slow. That's impressive. The rest of the story is she rage quit. She got mad because she was too slow, and she was blaming the people in the pit and the crew because it was too slow.
Can't slow down.
And just pulled off the track and just went home.
Man.
81 laps in.
Would have been cooler if she just drove the truck off the track altogether and then just
That
drove
would
it
have been
home.
cooler.
Yeah.
Because that's historical if that happens. Yeah. That's never happened. But
She
anyway,
threw a fit.
She did. She said, I'm a blanking failure. There's so many things I want to say. I'm probably going to blanking be suspended for what I just did. But anyway. And the owner of the car said, hey, you got to knock it off. You got sponsors on the side of the truck that sponsor you.
Yes, you're supposed
You
to be
can't be doing
racing.
this,
You
yeah.
can't be slowing
She's
down.
so unusual.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
And the countdown continues.
This
I
guy
never heard
Robbins
of a black
trifecta.
flag for going too slow. I don't know anything about. I guess I don't know
Well, it's
anything about it.
dangerous.
but-
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, very dangerous. Yeah. We should do that on the interstates.
And the countdown continues.
Just if you're not going to least a speed limit, we're going to stop you and give you a ticket.
Well, and
They
if
will
you're
do
in
it
the
if you're
fast
way too
lane in
slow,
some
yeah.
places, if you're going too slow, you do get a
Yeah,
ticket.
but it's
Scott Robbins trifecta top 3 of the day.
And finally, one.
Number 1, West Virginia is going after Virginia jobs.
Yeah, Virginia business owners are looking out for the greener grass on the other side. And the West Virginia governor, Patrick Morrisey, said, hey, we're going to launch a campaign. We're going to try to lure as much business as we can back to us. Says the shift toward higher taxes, new regulations is triggering an interstate economic brawl. The West Virginia governor said, I'm going to move in. I'm going to be aggressive about it. And I'm going to take as many jobs as I possibly can because of the tax situation that's currently going on and the stupidity of the affordability agenda that's been put into place by Abigail Spanberger. Anytime these guys do anything called affordability something, it's bad.
Yes.
It's always going to be bad. And I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. States like Illinois, for instance. You have Iowa. You have bordering states that are Indiana that are saying, hey, come over here.
Oh, yeah.
The tax rate is much, much lower here. And of course, Texas, I don't know if you guys can handle any more business in Texas. Holy
A
cow.
purely American institution.
But anyway, I don't blame these guys for doing it. And as a matter of fact, it's a smart thing to do because a lot of businesses will take off. They're not in the business to lose money and give more money to the state. It's not how it works.
Nope.
Spanberger, you dope.
And there you have it.
The Scott Robbins trifecta, top 3 of the day. Well done.
Affordability agenda.
Yes. Of course. Okay. David has another news update to get to. And man, oh man, you won't believe what this woman in Arizona was selling for Nimrods in the news. Coming up. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. You've probably heard us talk about GhostBed, the luxury quality mattress at a reasonable price. Well, just in time for the summer camping season, they've done something pretty smart. They took the same setup and made it for RVs. If you've ever spent the night in an RV, you probably know the mattress, not great.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah.
Usually the weak link.
Yes.
You're waking up not feeling like you're on vacation.
No.
Feeling like you need to go get, I don't know, adjusted or something.
They're really thin.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's hard to stay in vacation mode when your body is getting wrecked by that terrible mattress that you're laying on. So GhostBed, they decided, hey, we're going to fix this. You're getting the same cooling tech, so you're not sweating all night, real support that actually keeps your spine in line. So instead of tossing and turning, you actually sleep. And maybe, then they can tackle the second weak link in an RV experience, the toilet. But I don't think that's going to happen. They got their hands full with the mattress, Scott.
Yeah, but if you're away, I mean, a good sound sack time should get better, not worse. GhostBed RV mattresses deliver exactly that. Plus, here's the cool thing. You're going to get 101 nights and try it out risk-free. And right now, you can get an extra 10% off, too. Just go to ghostbed.com/MVCR. The promo code is MVCR. Easy to remember. That's ghostbed.com/MVCR. Promo code MVCR.
News update, David Van Camp.
Well, the cruise ship that was the site of the deadly hantavirus outbreak has docked in the Netherlands for a major disinfection operation as hazmat crews board the MV Hondius and quarantine units are set up near the port. That would be a pretty scary job to go into.
Boy, wouldn't it?
I would rather do that than clean up after a norovirus outbreak, though. Because that's where there's poop everywhere.
I was going to say that the walls and everything.
That's just no good.
Speaking of dangerous jobs, did you see those military jets collide midair at the Idaho Air Show?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody survived because they parachuted out of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow. They tangle, and the next thing you know, you see them just both go straight down, and then the explosion, and then luckily you see the 4 canopies as they parachuted out of it.
I saw a guy in one of those old World War II planes go up, and the engine stalled, and you thought he was stalling on purpose.
Yeah.
Boom. Crashed. End of show.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Well, I saw somebody who's an Air Force combat pilot who's knowing that everybody had made it safely to the ground was going to make a joke and said, because you can see them all parachuting and they look, at least from a distance, relatively close. Because could you imagine the number of swear words that were invented in the middle of that descent, yelling at each other?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what was that?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's supposed to go right.
Well, being in radio and media, during different air shows, you'd have a chance to either go up, with the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds or whatever, if you've ever done it. And they will kill the engine, and you're just free falling like crazy, and then they go right back on. They know what they're doing, but they can make you throw up anytime they want to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how much do you think you can take? And then it's that, just seeing how much you really can take. As it turns out, we were all pretty much weak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did it once. One and done, baby.
Oh, I'd do it again.
No, you go right ahead.
We got to get to Nimrods. Here we go.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News. We go to Tucson, Arizona. This is the story of Christina Eileen Gonzalez. She's 44. She's going to be behind bars for a while, for at least 14 years. Because she ran a criminal enterprise selling cocaine, methamphetamine, firearms, and Bouncing Betty landmines.
What?
Woo! Yes. Landmines.
One-stop shopping.
No kidding. Unleashing a lethal 360-degree spray of shrapnel across distances. It's frightening, and that's Nimrods in the News.